Hello everyone, this is Sarvachan Verma and I am working as an assistant professor at AKGEC Engineering College, Ghaziabad. And in this video lecture series, today I am going to discuss MapReduce. Basically, if we are talking about MapReduce it is called a processing unit of Hadoop. What do you mean by Hadoop? Hadoop is a distributed big data tool for storing, for analyzing the large amount of data. So let's start. First, if we're talking about MapReduce, so basically I have already told MapReduce is the processing unit of Hadoop. Using MapReduce, data in Hadoop can be processed. Second most important thing about MapReduce is that MapReduce is work on key value pair just like a dictionary in Python. And the next thing is about MapReduce is the main function of MapReduce are parallel processing model and large scale distributed model. So this inside this figure you will see what is the work of MapReduce is that any MapReduce algorithm divide the input data into the keys and values. Suppose we have one data, inside the data we have mapping like K1 is the key and V1 is the value. Same this will be interpreted like this. Similarly, after the map reducing function, the reduce function play very vital role to aggregate the entire data. So like you will see here inside the reduce, this is the key to and this is the value. Similarly, this will be interpreted like this. So this is the first phase is mapping the data, mapping the input values, and second phase is to aggregate the entire data, which is processed with the help of map module. So if we are talking about MapReduce allow for the distributed processing of the map and reduction operations, like MapReduce perform a filtering and sorting operation, or reduce perform the aggregation functions like perform the summary of the data, summary operations. Okay. Now, if we are talking about what is the function of MapReduce, so basically it is a framework, it is a programming framework that allow us to perform distributed and parallel processing on large data set. A MapReduce consists of the following procedures like map. Map means block of data is read and processed to produce key value pair as intermediate output. Suppose we have large amount of data, data may be a structured, unstructured or semi-structured. Okay. This data will be first converted into key value pair. This part is considered as a intermediate steps. Okay. Then this will be processed to the reducer module, and reducer module aggregate entire the intermediate output and produce a result. How the procedure, how it will produce the output, I will discuss in the next example. I will discuss one by one. Okay. And similarly, the output of the mapper or map job is to input the reducer. What will we get the output after the map module? This will be act as a input to the reducer module. What is the work of reducer? The reducer receive the key value pair from the multiple map jobs. Second thing, then the reducer aggregate those intermediate data into tuples into a smaller sets of tuples or key value pair, which is final output. So whatever data it will received by the map job, that data will be reflect as a input to the reducer module. Inside this picture, you will see how map task will done and how you can easily understand how reduce task will done. You will see here inside this image we have two data, we can say two relations or two tables. First one is employee and second one is department. Inside the employee table we have three columns. First one is name, salary and department ID. Similarly, in the department table we have two columns, department name and department ID and department name. How map task will work? Firstly, this data will be divided into key and values form. You will see here, this is the key 2, this is the key 2. Value is Dilip and 77,50,000. Tag reflect the data will come from which relation? Employee relation. Similarly, you will see here tag department. So, data will be converted into the key value pair from this relation. So, what is the value of key is 5. What is the value? 5 and marketing. You will see here like this. Okay. Similarly, all these data will be shuffled and sort, and this is the output of mapping job. This is the output of mapping job. You will see here, this is the key 2 and the value of related this key 2 is this. This is the tag reflect the department, tag reflect the employee. Similarly, this is the job and this is the output of, similarly this is the output of mapper module, mapping module. Okay. Then this will be converted, this data, this output of mapping is act as a input to the reducer task. Okay. After that you will see here, I will combine the entire data, aggregate the data at the key value 2, the value is Dilip, salary is this and department is marketing. Similarly, we can aggregate this data. You will see here, according to this example, we will easily understand how the map and how reduce will work. Inside the mapping, we mapping the entire inputs, we mapping the entire data, then at the time of reducing, we aggregate or shuffle the entire data. Okay. So, this is the normal example how map reduce will work on a data set. Again, this is again very good example you will see here. This is again very good example. We give the, this is the unstructured data, and in the previous example this is the structured data. Structured data are those data which is in a given, in a very good format, we can say in the form of row and column. But if we are talking about unstructured data, we are going to passing these 3 sentences to our map reduce module. Okay. When we are passing these value, first this value will be split like this. First statement is welcome to Hadoop, then फिर class Hadoop is, then good Hadoop is, and finally is bad. We can split this input according to our requirement, we can say, or we can say we can split, we are going to split this input into 4 steps. I can split more than 4 steps according to our requirement. We can say according to the application of a particular module or application. Okay. You will see here, now I am going to mapping this split input into the mapping format. You will see here inside this welcome will come only one time. So, this is the welcome, this is the value. Similarly, to comes one time, Hadoop come one time. Similarly, inside this second split, you will see here class will come one time, Hadoop will come one time, is come one time. Similarly, in the third split, good is come one time, Hadoop is come one time, is come one time. Similarly, in the last, bad is come one time. Now, I am going to shuffling all these mapping into this format. Bad will come one time, then class, good is come only one time, Hadoop will come 3 times, is come 2 times, 2 comes one time, welcome 1 comes one time. Now, this entire data, this entire steps comes, this is the working of mapping job. This is the work of mapping job. After that, this shuffling will act as a input to the reducer module. Inside this, you will see here, I am going to reduce phase, I am going to aggregation phase. Bad will come one time, class will come one time, good one, Hadoop will come 3 times, is come 2 times, 2 comes time. When finally I will combine these output, and this is the final output of our this input statements to the final statements. So, hopefully you got the clear clarity about how this map reduce will work. Now, again this is a second example, you will see here, I will understand it. I will give the input to our map reduce function or map reduce module. This is the first statement, bus, car and train, then fit train, car, train, plane, car, bus, 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 plane. I split this input into 3 parts, bus, car, train, bus, plane, car, bus, bus, plane. Okay. Then after, this will be mapped like this. This is the key value pair, bus, car, train, this. Bus will come one time, car will come one time, train one time. Then in this input, train come 1, plane 1, car 1. Similarly, bus 1, bus 2 times and plane comes 1 time. Now, I am going to mapping these 2 inputs like bus 2 times, bus 1 times, car 1, these are the mapping. Then finally, I am going to reducing task. This is the reducing task. Bus word will come 3 times, car words come 2 times, train 2 times, plane. Finally, I will get the output. So, basically my question is that whatever you provide the data to our Hadoop framework, or we can say basically Hadoop is a big data analytics tool or framework. Inside this, map reduce will work to analyze the data, unstructured data. Okay. So, basically entire map reduce module, first splitting will work, then mapping, then intermediate splitting, then reducing, and finally after the reducing we combine the entire reducing output and we will generate a fixed output. So, this is the scenario how map reduce will work. Next question is how we develop a map reduce application. So, basically we have code for map individually and we have to code for reduce individually. So, at the name suggest map reduce, the reducer phase take place after the mapper phase has been completed. So, first we have to complete the mapping task, then we have to complete your reducing task. Second thing, so the first is the map job where the block of data is read, proceed and produce key value pair as an intermediate output. you will see here like this. This is, I am talking about this line. This is called the intermediate job of a entire MapReduce application. Second thing, the output of the mapper job is the input to the reducer job, like this. This is the output of the mapping, and this output will be give to the reducer. For reducer, this output will be act as a input. This output will be act as a input. Next thing is, the reducer receive the key value pair from the multiple map jobs. It is very fine. You will see here multiple jobs will be received by the reducer module, no issue at all. Then the reducer aggregate those intermediate data, it means key value pairs, into a smaller set of tuples or key value pairs, which is the final output. So, these are the, you will see here, these are the basic we can say procedure how to create the, how to develop the MapReduce application while dealing the unstructured, structured or semi-structured data. It is very simple. First you have to create the map job, block of data read and convert it into the key value pairs. Then the output of the key value pair act as a input to the reducer. Then reducer module mapping करेगा. Then after final output देगा हमको. This is the output of, okay. हाँ, you will see here again how the MapReduce work while taking. You will see here we have, this is the input, deer, beer, river, car, river, deer, car, beer. First splitting, this data will be splitting like previous example. Then after we doing the mapping. This is the key, this is the value, this is the key, this is the value. After that I am going to shuffle the data. You will see here beer will come 1, 1. Car will come 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again deer 2 times, river 2 times. Then we are performing the reducing application. Finally we will get the output. So this is the output of this application. Hopefully you all are got the clarity about how this will execute, how this will work. It is very simple. Approx I have discussed 3 to 4 examples related to mapping and related to reducer job. So I hope you all are understand, and if you have find any issue, please text me in the message box, so that I will give some more examples where you get the clarity about this. Now next topic is what type of inputs and what type of output formats support by the while you are dealing with the MapReduce procedure. Okay. So basically input format describe the input specification for execution of the MapReducer job. In MapReduce job execution, input format is the first step. Input format describe how to split and how to read the input files. Means suppose we have some database file, so the file structure and file format should be different. If we have some unstructured data like audio, video or text file, then the input format should be different. Depends on input data, the file input structure will be differ. Okay. So input format is responsible for splitting the input data files into records which is used for MapReduce operations. Okay. Second thing, What are the activity will be done while dealing with the input format? First one is input format, select the files or other objects for input. It define the data split. It define both the size of individual map task and its potential execution server. Second and last thing is input format defines the record reader. It is also responsible for reading actual record from the input files. So, these are the three basic assumptions while you are dealing with the input formats. Types of input formats, first one is file input format. So, basically it is the base class for all file based input formats. When we start a map reduce job execution, file input format provide a path containing file to the read. The input format will read all files and divide these files into one or more input splits. This is the first format, file input formats. This will be read the n number of files from your specific location, specific drive, and then after this file will be divided into one or more input splits. Second types of input format is text input format. It is a default input format. If you not opt any kind of format, then this is the default format. This input format treat each line of the each input file as a separator record. While you are reading the input data from this format, after the every line the data will be split and data treat as a to the next line. It perform no parsing. Text input format is useful for unformatted data or line based records like log files. Okay. Second and third is key value text input format. It is similar to the text input format. This input format also treat each line of the input as the separator record, while the difference is that text input format treat entire line as the value, but the key value text input format break the line itself into the keys and values. Second, fourth one is sequence file input format. So, basically it is used to read the binary files or sequence file. Basically these files also stored sequence of binary key value pairs. These are block, compressed and provide direct serialization and deserialization of several arbitrary data. So, basically this type of format is useful to read the binary files. Next one is N line input format. Basically it is used to store the data in byte format. Okay. The value are contents of the line. So, each mapper receive a variable number of lines of input with text input file and key value text input formats. Okay. And last one is DB input format. So, basically it is useful to read the relational data set, database relations, database tables. So, these are the example. Thank you so much.